Today, we're going to hold the camera and walk around the Mini. Wait, who's going to watch that? Is anyone going to watch that? Anyway, then I'll show you all the good, the bad, and the ugly bits, and then we'll finally go take it on that drive. Stay tuned. Alright, so in my previous video, I showed you guys that the Mini had some major problems, 2 of them to be specific. The first one being that the suspension was entirely seized, and the second one being the service history. So for me to be able to drive it and review it and so on, I had to get these issues sorted to be on the road safely. So what we did is we obviously had to replace quite a few suspension components. So first of all, we had to replace shocks. So we got brand new Monroe shocks at the back, as well as at the front. We had to do stabilizer links, we had to do tie rod ends, and also the suspension mounts, the struts. So as you can imagine, this work was very costly, and I will still reveal the entire price of the work done, all the work done to the car and the work that I'm still going to do, but I think that's for a later video and to hide my embarrassment. So the second problem was obviously that this car has no service history. So what I've done is I've given this car an oil change service. So technically now it has service history of 1 service. Right, so when talking about this car, you absolutely have to start at the front. It's got this really cute yet mean looking face with the 2 wide-eyed headlights, the horizontal slatted grills, and then most significantly is the intake vent, or what I'd like to call the Royal Mail post slot. This is functional, by the way. That actually draws cool air into the engine bay, directing it to the top mount supercharger intercooler, which then gets cold air into the engine. Right, so we've got a bit of damage here to report as well. This bumper is a bit dodgy. We've got lots of scratches on the paint as well as on the vinyl, some stone chips and so on. I think a good polish would do it wonders. And I don't know if you can see how faded this headlight is. You can even feel how rough it is. Over here, we can see this car had a lot of exposure to the sun. The plastics look absolutely horrendous. And then also, if you look at this wiper, it literally almost has no paint left. So you can see the whole thing opens up like a clamshell, and it exposes the entire engine. Now, this is only a tiny 1.6 liter Tritec supercharged engine from Mini. Even though it's a very small engine, it's a very tight package. Absolutely love this engine bay. Sometimes when I close the bonnet and I don't close it well enough, you can see that there's this big gap. So it actually has 2 bonnet latches, one on that side and obviously one on this side. So I kind of have to drop it pretty high for it to close properly. And I hate doing that because it just feels like I'm hurting the car. But let's see if I can get it right this time around. I'm going to drop it from about here. And that's really the only way to do it. I have tried gently closing it and pushing down on it. It literally just doesn't want to go in. Let's look at the side profile. Over here, I think you need to zoom into this wheel. The nice thing is these were the optional 17-inch mags on this generation of Mini Cooper S's, as opposed to the 16-inch. But you can see that it's in a very, very sorry state. So I really look forward to refurbishing these wheels, and I think that'll transform the entire look of the car. So furthermore, on the side, there's not really much to report. I do think it looks so cool with the optional sunroof as well. This was a pretty nice spec vehicle back in the day. With the bigger alloys, it's got the chrome gas cap, and then we've also got the sunroof and some interior bits that I'll get to as well. This side as well, nothing else, just the wheel. Pretty much the same as the front, maybe slightly better, but they all have to be refurbished. If we get to the back, first thing that you notice is this wiper blade, which is completely shot. So that's something that needs to get checked out soon. I do also think that that is actually a roadworthy relevant item. So obviously for me to get it through roadworthy, I'll then have to do that anyway. One more interesting thing here at the back is the boot. And just show you, yeah, well, that happens. I can kind of sort of get it to stay in place. So obviously these 2 boot shocks they're dodgy. If I try and fiddle around with things here, it's definitely going to fall on my back. Luckily, it's really super light. Another thing that you guys might be curious in is how big is this boot? But yeah, let's have a look and see if I can fit. I'm not the smallest guy. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, I don't know. That's not really going to work all that well. So not very good for kidnapping people. Maybe smaller people like children will still be fine. But I'm calling the cops. Gonna get a license plate when it gets roadworthy. You can see there's some nasty scratches. The worst of the paint damage is here at the back. So yeah, that's not great. I just absolutely love these exhaust tips. You can actually see that they look like beer cans, the bottom of a beer can, and that's actually exactly what they are. So back when this car was designed and when it was a clay model, they actually forgot to put exhaust tips on it. And what then happened is they had a beer can and they used that and they pushed it into the clay mold, and they actually loved the look of it so much, and that ended up staying on the car. This side, pretty much the same as the other side. You can see that this door has been, it's got a bit of paint damage here at the side, you know, people being careless and opening their car doors against walls and against other cars and so on. Just one more interesting thing here. Now, whenever I see a car without wheel caps, it's a bit of a red flag in the sense that it's just a bit careless. They are very cheap to get, but I do understand that we live in South Africa and they get stolen very often. And this car does come from Cape Town, so that was likely the scenario, and you cannot really fault them too much for that. The other thing that's interesting is, I don't know if you noticed on the other wheels as well, but they've all got different wheel bolts. Some are silver, some are black. This one has 3 black. I think the next one we're going to look at has 2 silver, 2 black. And that's just one of those things that someone that really cares about their car and that's an enthusiast, they will never allow that to happen. Just want to show you this side as well. Like I mentioned, 2 black wheel bolts and 2 silver ones. So just a bit of carelessness. Right, so I think we can now get to the interior. You can see that this interior is very worn. Right as you enter, you can see the stitching is starting to come loose. Luckily, it's not too far gone. We've got lots of wear on the leather here. I want to show you the door handles quickly. I wonder how many times these doors have been opened and closed to get worn out like this. But I've also got an exciting plan for this, but I won't get into that right now. But interestingly enough, it's the exact same scenario on the passenger door side, which means that this car was more often than not driven with 2 people in the car, and both of them pretty hard on the interior components of this car. Right, so then if you look at the steering wheel, I do like the look of the steering wheel, but you can see it's also very worn. The silver outline, very worn, scratched up. And then this is probably the ugliest gear knob that I've seen in my entire life. I don't know how it gets to that state. We've got this nasty looking handbrake. I don't know if this is going to be allowed to be shown on YouTube. Right, so just another sign of someone who owned this car being really careless is, first of all, there's no driver's side floor mat. And you can also see how worn out this is. So that means that it's been driven like this for quite some time. And this being loose is definitely a red flag. You never want things rolling around in between your legs when driving.
There's something loose between my legs, apart from the obvious. So something flying around my feet.
Okay, copy.
Yeah. Around my feet, I mean, I'd be proud if it was what you think it is, but it's not.
Other things in the interior, I must say the center dial is very strange. I don't really know if I love it yet. So that's the tachometer. And then on this side, we've got the speedometer. One other thing, and unfortunately now it's working properly. If you see the mileage of this vehicle, we're currently on 144,781. But the last pixel is a bit dodgy. So sometimes it looks like I've got a very new car, because sometimes I've got 14,400 kilometers on this car, making it very new. Other times it's like now I've got 144,000 kilometers on. One last thing about the interior that I absolutely love are these toggles. So it was actually very weird initially because I was struggling to find the window windy buttons. What do you call them? Now, initially, I struggled to wind my window down. I couldn't find the switch on the door. And then the guy at WeBuyCars told me that they are here. And look how cool these switches look. And now that I'm getting used to them, I absolutely love them. So that's the driver's side window. And then you can see the passenger one right here. And I must say the windows are in a pretty good nick, or the window motors rather are in a pretty good nick. And then the other switches we've got here, we've got traction control, got central locking, we've got fog lights, and yeah, the other window that side. One last thing. I've read so many reviews about this car now, and everyone hates the horn and where the buttons are located, as opposed to having a horn in the middle. So I've got these buttons on either side, and I freaking love it. It's so cool. So one more thing that I found out, and I keep forgetting to use it, but I'll try and use it on the drive part of this video, is this car actually has cruise control. So that was another optional extra. I honestly didn't even know that cars had cruise control in 2002. But now probably someone in the comments are going to tell me that they have the Mercedes-Benz that has cruise control from 1980, whatever. But anyway, that's a pretty cool feature if it works. Right, so this is a tiny car, but it actually feels quite spacious from the driver's seat. But I've actually never been in the back. So let's see if I can actually fit. There we go. Okay. I mean, honestly, I expected worse. I don't know how much space there is in front of me, but it actually looks quite fine. And the thing is, I've got lots of space for my head. So that actually makes it, honestly, I was expecting to bash this, but it's really not that bad. I thought it would only be for very small children, but it actually seems in an emergency, you'll be able to have your friends in the back and drive around in your Mini Cooper. I found something. That's sick. I've got a free license plate. I was wondering where the one at the back is. So that's interesting. I wonder what else I can find here. Would have been great if it had. Oh my word. Oh my word. I've been looking for this. What? I've got partial service history like they said. WeBuyCars didn't lie to me. Oh my word. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, that's sick. Oh. So this is my first car that I've ever had that's got a sunroof, and I am super excited about it. And surprisingly, it works. It sounds a bit rough. I will actually research on how to service it properly, but there we go. You can see how it closes. It actually sounds better than it did last time. And then I want to open it up. Not bad.
Spat on me.
Sorry. And then this also, I cannot do this without showing you guys the supercharger line, or rather letting you hear the supercharger line. It's going to be pretty loud. Pretty cool, sounds pretty healthy. Not amazing for filming this. It is a Sunday, it's 9 AM, but we're out here, so let's see how she goes. Woo! Woohoo! Okay, well there you can hear that fast blinking flicker. I think one of the indicator bulbs isn't working, so I'll start by replacing that, and then maybe if it's not that, it might be a fuse. So yeah, I'm recording this now. This was supposed to be the first drive. It's not the first drive. I just didn't get to recording it yet. Let me turn the aircon off so you can hear me properly. It is freaking hot today though. Let's see if we can record a bit of a pull. It goes! Yo! Okay, I think I shifted at about just under 6k. It definitely has more. I don't know what the red line is, but like I said, I'm still getting used to the car. I just want to trust it, to make sure nothing's gonna go wrong. But I must say, she feels pretty solid. Very impressed. Suspension is very stiff, very firm, not for everyone. I love it. There's no body roll whatsoever. I think it must be so nice, like on a track like Swartkops. I think this thing it'll shine there, definitely. I wonder if you guys can hear the supercharger whine on the audio, but it sounds so sick. It's a bit louder than I thought it was going to sound like, but I must say, with this, you definitely hear it, and it sounds great. Alright, so that's a wrap for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I must say, I'm really starting to fall in love with this car. It is so freaking cool. So I've got lots of content coming for you guys, but let me know in the comments what would you like to see. And also remember to click up here if you haven't watched the previous video to see how I actually bought this car on auction. And let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, cheers, peace out.